Good morning. I'm melting into, this hot coffee is not going to work for me. But it's not hot. It's hot, but not hot enough. So it doesn't even taste good. Sabrina, the most beautiful sound I ever heard. Sabrina, don't tell your boyfriend how I feel about you. 'Cause I need you. And I gotta make you mine. I got to make you mine. Whenever she's around, my whole world comes tumbling down and I lose control. Did you see what I did there? Good morning. I'm melting. I went for a walk this morning. I am sweating I'm melting. I'm melting. I'm the incredible shrinking woman. Galaxy glue, galaxy glue. What would you do without galaxy glue? I can make almost any song a freestyle song. Seriously. I don't know how, but I can. Good morning and welcome to Coffee Talk, everybody. I'm so glad to see everyone. Oh, Paula, you ordered 5 pairs of pajama pants? That was really dope. Do the pajamas come in pink? I don't know if they come in pink, but they do come in tie-dye. The addiction episode comes out next week. Kristen, you're sick? Like corona sick or just sick? Sweat is really I'm salty. Happy Friday. I have a ton of stuff to do today, and we leave tomorrow. If you have not yet listened, I am not in New Jersey. No, I don't live in New Jersey. I haven't lived in New Jersey since 2004. If you have not yet listened to the Tell Me What to Do podcast, I really wish that you would listen, please, because they're not going to let me do it anymore if you guys don't listen, and I really want to keep doing it. Okay, first of all, your Instagram name is Jim Jimma, and I don't know you, but I fucks with you heavy. Jim Jimma, who got the keys to my bimma? That is so great. That is so great. I love it. Oh, Leah, I appreciate you. Leah goes, I listened twice. Listen to it in the car. We are going to talk about it right now. We are going to have a podcast club on Fridays and talk about the episode the day before. Thank you to everybody who listened. Truly, thank you. Oh my God, I'm melting. I'm melting. Okay. So let's talk about the podcast. So the topic of the podcast was the pain and shame that comes with ending female friendships. There are 1,000 articles on what to do when you and a romantic relationship have ended. You can find memes, you can find inspiring quotes, you can find everything that you want to find when a romantic relationship ends. But when a female friendship ends, when best friends have to go their own way, or when you are betrayed by a friend, or something happens, there is no it's the most painful thing. It's more painful. Where do we go to listen? I don't listen to podcasts, but would listen to yours. Thank you, Courtney. If you just Google, Tell Me What to Do with Jamie Premack Sullivan, and it'll bring up links for the podcast. If you have an iPhone, it's on your podcast app. If you have an Android, you can find it on Spotify or Stitcher. It's called Tell Me What to Do with Jamie Premack Sullivan. Okay, so people don't understand that ending female friendships, in my opinion, as I said yesterday on the podcast, is more painful than the end of a romantic relationship. Because we it's a different tethering. It becomes a sisterhood. You almost become like one. And it is absolutely gut-wrenching when you have to end a friendship. Wait, I do want to say one thing. How many of you heard what I said about Carol Baskin? For those of you who listen to the podcast, give me a hand if you heard what I said about Carol Baskin. I need to know if you agreed with what I said about Carol Baskin. Mary, I cackled my ass off. The thing with Carol Baskin, that to me is crazy. Doing Savage. So, okay. Yes, Essential are, there was a new episode yesterday about ending female friendships. And in the beginning, I talked about Carol Baskin. If you have not listened to the podcast yet, please listen so you can hear. But I think it's insane that woman is like, I feel like they positioned that thing to make it look like she killed her husband and fed him to tigers. And now she's out here doing cameos for $40 a pop. And my whole thing is like, listen, I said what I said on the podcast. I said what I said and I meant it. If you have not heard it yet, you need to go listen to what I said about Carol Baskin, because I said what I said and I meant it, and I'd say it again. And I do think it would be funny if she did the TikTok dance. Carol Baskin killed her husband, whacked him. That would be funny. Let me fucking tell you, she would break the internet if she did that shit. That would be funny. Anyway, if you have not yet listened to yesterday's episode, go listen to what I said about Carol Baskin, because I meant it and I would say it again. Anyway, back to ending female friendships. Happy birthday, Linda. There are a lot of unhealthy ways to end female friendships. And I want to speak about something very personal to me, about how I changed my ways from ending female friendships in an unhealthy way to a healthy way. Back in January, I had a friendship that we needed a timeout. We needed a break. Old Jamie would have just disappeared forever and always, years and years, even if I missed her, even if I loved her, because I didn't have coping skills. I didn't have communication skills. Amen, 6ix9ine, amen. But what I realized in that moment was, you can love someone and value them and want them and understand that there is something in you that you need to sort out before you can ease on down the road. Okay? Instead of ghosting, which is what I used to do, I said, I honestly do not think that I can friend you right now. Because the Jamie you want right now is not the Jamie I want to be. Hear that. The Jamie you want as your friend is no longer the Jamie that I want to be. So we need a timeout so that I can sort out who I want to be. And when we come back together, I'll be the version of me I'm comfortable with. And if it works for you, bet. I love you enough that I want to see if my peanut butter can work with your jelly, but I got to get my peanut butter straight. And she loved me enough to be like, okay, I got it. Get your peanut butter straight. I'm going to work on my jelly. Let's come back around. And now I think we're going to be stronger and better for it. But we were headed for a crash and burn. And I'm talking about either a blow up where shit was said that we couldn't take back, or a total ghosting. That's what we were headed for, because neither one of us have we both kind of come from that street 101. You know what I mean? Oh, Erica's wonderful. So I understand the grieving of female friendships. And I like, I said so much in the podcast yesterday, and I don't want to just like rehash the entire podcast. I want you guys, I want you guys to really listen to it so that you can weigh in. My hope is as we go forward, you will listen to the podcast on Thursday so you can all comment on Fridays. But I would love to know, what did you guys think about the unhealthy ways that I ended friendships? Did you recognize any of yourself in those ways? I gave you a list of ways that I used to use to end, Mary, tell him, Mare. I used to use to end friendships. I gave a list of unhealthy ways. And I'm curious if you recognized any of yourself in those ways. Because if you did, the beautiful thing about growth and coffee talk is that now I have a list of ways that you can heal friendships, pause friendships, rebuild friendships, stop and start over friendships, or just leaving friendships. And I gave healthy options that I have to choose. You know, like that I want to be different. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. It's more than just ghosting. Okay, Etta said, I know. Dreamed purpose. I know. You are absolutely right. You are 100% right. The whole ghosting thing, I understand it's easy. But man, it is not healthy. It leaves people in emotional purgatory. It's not. Debbie said, please explain ghosting. Ghosting is when you just disappear. It's when you take your attention, your time, your friendship, and you just disappear. It leaves people in emotional, it's spiritual warfare. It's a terrible thing to do to somebody. Terrible. And I am very lucky. And I know you guys, there are certain friends that I've had along the way. You followed me for 6 years. There are friends I had and don't have anymore, or maybe you don't see them as much and you're not sure what happened. And I actually don't feel like I owe everybody an explanation on every friendship ending, because a lot of it means that you're only hearing my opinion. Then you're only getting one side of the story, and that's not fair, because nobody is totally innocent in the ending of a friendship. But I will say the whole, like, I love you, but I need to love you from across the street. I can still want the best for you, but I need to do it with you over there, is a very healthy way to end a friendship. If you speak to somebody, give them an out. I have not ghosted anybody since, I don't remember, a couple years now. I don't want to do it anymore. What if you got ghosted? It fucking is awful. Lorianne ghosted me. We've spoken about it before. She and I are in a great place. She is my sister and my love. But she ghosted me, and it was the most painful. I had broken heart disease. I actually had broken heart disease. I have never forgiven anyone the way I have forgiven Lorianne. And I believe God brought us back together for all the right reasons, but I had actual broken heart disease. I have never, ever, ever felt that much pain from a female girl. I've had girlfriends fuck my man, and it didn't hurt me as bad as Lorianne disappearing from my life. It was actual broken heart disease. I could not find a way out of that pain. And I hear her reasons for doing it. I don't agree with them. I think it's bullshit. I told her that. It destroyed me. It paralyzed me. I loved her so much. And when she disappeared, I needed her. She didn't just take away a friendship. She took away a mommy guide, a sister relationship, a love. I was in a lot of ways in love with her. Not romantically, but I was in love with her. She was one of the great loves of my life. Her ghosting me left me so vulnerable and empty and alone that I was not right for fucking a year and 18 months. I could not get well. I wrote her letters. I called people that knew her. I begged her to tell me what I did. What would make somebody be my friend on a Monday and on Tuesday never speak to me again? I couldn't. When you ghost someone and they don't care, great. The trash took itself out. Awesome. You're lucky. You're lucky that you're not causing them the pain that I went through. It was fucking awful. I emailed, texted, I wrote handwritten letters. It was, forget it. Jamie, do you have to be honest for your reason to pausing ending it? I want to drop my bestie. I'm getting PTSD vibes. I think for you, honesty is better. I do. I think it's honesty is better. Oh yeah, Lorianne and I are great. We are great now. We went through breast cancer together, her divorce together. We are great now. I love her. She is the only person in my life that I have truly forgiven. I have never learned to, Well, I don't want to tell you what her reasons because it's very personal to her. It actually has nothing to do with me. I can say it was about a man and it was about she was being brainwashed and, you know, it's not that's not my story to tell. I love her. Oh God, I love her. I love her. I'm in love with her. I'm in love with her. I am in love with her. I love my friends so much that there's a part of me that falls in love with every single one of them. I'm in love with my friends in a lot of ways. Losing Lorianne was like a part of, like I didn't have anyone in my life like her. She was such a unique friend. She was my equal, but also I looked up to her. She taught me how to mom. You know, she was my hype man, my nurse, my therapist, my roll dog, my ride or die, I had never had a friend so effortlessly. I felt she was made for me. Truly, I felt she was made for me. That God made her for me. And I tried to give her as much as she gave me. And when she ghosted me, I lost so many women in that one woman. I lost a mother, a sister, a best friend, a caretaker. I didn't know how to function. I could not get well. I couldn't. It was the most painful. I would take going through the end of my narcissist abusive boyfriend, the end of that, 80 times over to never, ever feel what I felt when Lorianne disappeared from my life. ever. I would rather have a boyfriend that cheats on me and shits on me or whatever. And I'm not crying because I'm still angry. I have forgiven her. She's the love of my life. She's made for me. She was made for me. She's the only person in this world that I have forgiven on that level. I have never forgiven anyone the way I forgave her. I cry because it is how much she really means to me. I cry because her loss was so significant to me. She's so special to me. And not ghosting, not divorce, not cancer, nothing will separate us. Nothing. Nothing will separate us. So, at the end of the day, I don't know how I chose forgiveness. I don't know how. I didn't think I would. I wanted to punish her. I wanted to hurt her. I wanted her to feel what I felt, and then I understood that if I really loved her, why would I ever want her to feel that? Because what I felt, I wouldn't wish on anyone. And I'm so glad that I didn't try to punish her and that I didn't try to hurt her, and that when she came back into my life, I was able to say to her, I was in love with you, and I love her. I can't even tell you. Why couldn't I forgive anyone else like that? I don't know. I don't know why. Honestly, I don't know why. Forgiveness for me, Alexis. Alexis is here. Alexis was my best friend in high school. I looked up to her. She was my big sister. I loved her. I shared things with her as a young girl, a teenage girl, that I didn't share with anyone. A lot of my firsts of so many things were with her. We spent years laying in bed together watching Lifetime movies. She taught me how to navigate relationships with boyfriends as a young girl. She taught me how to stick up for myself. Not in a physical way, but more in an emotional way. She taught me a lot of times how to grow up when emotionally I wanted to spiral out of control and react and fight and beat people up. You know, she was always very centered, and she was abused. She was broken and battered, but she healed other people. It's amazing how that happens. But she hurt me. She broke my heart. She was my best friend, and she didn't invite me to her wedding because I didn't get along with her sister and my sister, and it fucking devastated me. It broke my heart, but we were able to move past it because I think that there are certain people that loved me at my worst, and they deserve forgiveness. They deserve forgiveness. And someone said, how do you heal that hurt? I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I do know that Alexis loved me through a time where I couldn't really love myself, and that to me deserved forgiveness. It just did. She was not the sum of one decision. She was the sum of all the years that she loved me. That's just the truth. She was not malicious. There's not a malicious bone in her body. So you have to look at someone and go like, was this malicious? Did she do this to hurt me? Or did she do this because she felt she had to? And the truth is that some people truly just deserve forgiveness. You know, I really believe that. And so funny, I just posted a picture of Alexis and I today, and, you know, I've loved her since I was 14 years old. You know, I'm 43. It's a long time to love someone. I would go to bat for her anywhere, on any field, in any town, and she knows that. I could call her tomorrow and it would pick up just like it, you know. And there are some people that just, you know, you find grace. I don't know. I'm sure she's had to forgive me for shit, Lord. Probably when I was young, but she is not the sum of one decision. Absolutely not. Anyway, I love you guys. This is a hard conversation to have. Ending friendships and losing friends and things like that, this shit is real. This shit is awful. This shit is gut-wrenching. Ugh. But please, I ask one favor of you. Please listen to the Tell Me What to Do podcast. Please. It really would mean so much to me, and they won't let me do it if you don't listen. So I really want to get over 5,501 listens. Please. So if you would listen, it would mean so much to me. Okay? I love you. Have a great, great day.